I've just returned from spending some days at the borderlands, where the touching cities of Ciudad Juarez and El Paso and the edge of New Mexico all come together. It was a border delegation that was organized by Hayes and by Trua to bring rabbis, a group of rabbis, to learn and to be more a witness to what's happening right now at our borders for refugees and asylum seekers. It was a very, very full 3.5 days. And I'm still metabolizing and integrating everything that we saw and experienced. And clearly I am. I mean, you can hear it in my voice. My body has had a big reaction to the pain and the trauma. It was also a time of intense wind and sand in the desert and wind and big, big fires breaking out. So my voice, right when I came back ready to shout, my voice has other plans. And you might have seen on the news that while we were there, at the very time that we were there was a large group of refugees and asylum seekers who were coming seeking protection and safety. The stories that we heard and witnessed were filled with incredible trauma. Traumas that sparked the journey, that made people need to leave. And then trauma along the journey. And then at arrival, you think that you've made it. And there's more at the border. Incredible heartbreak and inhumanity at this moment at our borders, and stunning resilience and hope and faith in what could be possible. For individual lives, what could be possible. And for our whole country and the system of welcoming immigrants and refugees and asylum seekers, what could be possible. Dreams for individual lives, holding on to dreams of what could be possible and holding on to dreams of what could be possible for all of us in a changed future at our borders. What is and what could be, sitting with what is and what could be. We as a community, we've been inside of dreams, no? The last few weeks. We were inside of Jacob's dreams recently, listening to what dreams can bring us in our own personal work, in work of personal transformation. And here is Jacob's son, Joseph, who, like his father, is having dreams. And Joseph's story is one of working to make his dreams realities for the land that he ends up helping to govern. He's having his own dreams and he's interpreting the dreams of others. These are the dreams of the collective. We were with Jacob's very personal dreams, and now we're with Joseph's dreams for the collective. The Parsha begins, Vayeshev Yaakov Be'eretz, and Jacob lived in this land where his fathers had been. And Ela Toldot Yaakov, Yosef. Here is the line of Jacob, Joseph. That's interesting because there are 13 children and Joseph is not the first. So why does the line of Jacob immediately move into Joseph? The Midrash tells us, Midrash Breshit Rabbah, that there are lots of reasons why, because of the similarity between Jacob and Joseph. They were both hated. They both had brothers who tried to kill them. I would add they both had dreams. But from here, Joseph's story takes a very different turn than his father's. It goes in a different direction. Joseph's story is one of one traumatic event after another. And inside of this are Joseph's dreams. Jacob has one, Joseph has many, and then he interprets the dreams of others. Dreams that end up transforming his life and transforming the society around him. Different from his father. Jacob's father's dreams were bringing him right into the present moment. God was in this place and I didn't know. Hamakom, this sacred place right here, right now. Jacob's dreams were about here-ness. And Joseph is having dreams about his future. Joseph's dreams are not about right here. They're about what can happen, what will happen. And he tells his stories about his dream stories, about his brothers all bowing down to him. In the future, about the stars and even the moon, everything bowing down to him. It doesn't go well with his brothers. So they're thinking that they're going to murder their brother, Joseph. Because of he's telling of these dreams and because of the family pattern of favoritism. We're also told that Jacob's favorite is Joseph. So they're considering murdering him. Instead, they decide to throw him in a pit. And then some merchant traders come along and they sell him. They sell their brother. We would call that human trafficking now. Joseph is sold into slavery, forced migration into a land that he did not choose to go to. And the rabbis tell us that it's a descent for Joseph. He gets thrown in a pit. You think that's the bottom, but there's always more bottom, everyone. You're thrown into a pit. Well, now you're going to be taken to a low place, Mitzrayim. You're going to go even lower than that pit. And then you're going to go into the home of a wealthy person and be accused of doing something you didn't do and be incarcerated, be thrown in a pit. He went from a pit to a deeper pit to an even deeper pit. Joseph's first part of his story is about descending. And he finds himself inside of jail and he uses what he has. And what he has here is his ability, his fluency in dreams. He interprets dreams of Pharaoh's court, dreams about their future. They are supposed to then help him out, but they forget for a couple years. And then when Pharaoh's having dreams, they remember this slave Joseph, that he could interpret their dreams. So he interprets Pharaoh's dreams. Pharaoh's dreams are about times of abundance. Well, this is how Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams. They're about times of abundance followed by times of famine. And out of that dreaming, they make new policy for the government, from the dreams to policy. And they decide that they'll store food during the times of abundance, so that then during the times of crisis and famine, they'll be able to help everyone with food. And not just the people where they are, but the people in other lands. Turns out also to be Joseph's family that they help in other lands. stories, dreams, envisioning dreams of possible future that become policy. After our first 12-hour back-to-back day on this trip, hearing so much pain, we were debriefing at the nighttime and thinking about what we had heard. And one of the rabbis, Rabbi Asher, he shouted out, "But what could be different? What's the dream? What's the dream? How could this be different? What's the dream?" Just kept repeating dream. You could feel how it was holding him. And it was starting to hold all of us from this moment into the bigger vision. What could be the vision, the dream that could become policy, the collective dream? The immigration system is complex and it is broken. Even our Secretary of Homeland Security, Mayorkas, who was in El Paso at the same time as we are, just said that. The immigration and asylum system is broken. Yet to hear the dream of how to make it better, but an acknowledgement that it's broken. And just to be clear, this administration has not yet worked to make it better. I think that's where a lot of us thought maybe they would. So far, one of the big things they've done is to fight to keep Title 42, which was one of the horrible Trump-era policies. Biden's administration has fought to keep it. So let's just be clear that it's not like there's one part of this government that's doing the right thing and being blocked by the others. Not in this issue. So where can our dreams spring? It is possible. This could be different. How we imagine it into being matters. And this is not just collective. This is also for us personally. What is the premise? What is the starting point of our dreaming? What is the starting point of our dreaming? What is the premise we begin with? The foundations that we grow from? How we imagine it matters. So here's a paradigm that we could imagine into the collective. That's a paradigm of fear and xenophobia and racism. That's a paradigm that we could dream into. No, thank you. And there's a paradigm of humanity and of rachamim, of compassion, of kindness, of all of the things that are our midot, our Torah values that are shared interfaith. We could dream from there. And those dreams, friends, they will look different in policy. On one of the days of our trip, just hours apart, we went to a detention center, Otero Detention Center, and then we went to Annunciation House, a shelter. A shelter started and run by social doctrine Catholics and staffed by volunteers. Both facilities are full of asylum seekers, and yet the contrasts could not have been more stark. The detention center is in the paradigm of fear and law enforcement. Everyone there is locked up. They are detainees behind locked doors. At Annunciation House, the paradigm is humanity, where you enter by knocking at the front door. At the detention center, you enter barbed wire fences, walls, prison. It's run by a private prison company who right next door has the prison. fences and barbed wire when you are in your dormitory, fences and bars when you're outside for recreation, given a uniform based on your status. When you arrive at Annunciation House, you're greeted warmly and brought downstairs to choose clothes and shoes and diapers and snacks, all that have been donated. There are common spaces for play, for conversation. There's a kitchen to make dinner together. And there are rooms with bathrooms, rooms where families can stay together. All run by volunteers. In the detention center, you're a detainee. In this shelter, you are a guest. There are volunteers who come for 2 weeks. There was a volunteer who just graduated college and is committed to stay for a year. I told you there had been a large group that arrived when we were there. So there were lots of knocks at the door, people coming in. And the human beings knocking on the door come in need of care and support. They have just suffered incredible traumas along a perilous journey. At the detention center, they arrive. They are also human beings who have just suffered from traumas along a perilous journey. Now waiting to hear their fate from a judge. When we were taking a tour of the detention center, the warden, that's her title, the warden said that she had been studying a lot about color and how color affects mood. And so that is why they changed this wall. And it was an experiment. And they were thinking about maybe doing the other walls. And somebody on our trip, confused, said, which wall? Where's that wall? And she said, this wall. It was painted white with gray, in sort of an industrial gray trim at the bottom. And we said, but the wall is white. And she said, yes. So much better than that beige over there. I think it's really having a big effect. And I know that this woman is wanting to do what she thinks is best. From inside of this paradigm, these are the dreams. At Annunciation House, it's filled with art made by guests, murals painted by volunteers, luscious colors. And I'll say that they just did a full renovation to make it accessible for people with disabilities. There was a deaf couple from Guatemala. There were several people in wheelchairs, and they needed to do that to be accessible, and they wanted to do that for a while, but also because a new reality at the border is the amount of people with broken ankles and shattered legs from climbing up and falling over. As I heard all the stories, I also thought about you, all of you, what to share and what to hold. And that's part of the metabolizing that I think is going on in my voice, because there's a lot to hold. We have choices in our immigration system. We have choices. There needs, of course, to be a process. But the question is, can we see people as human beings in need of safety and care? Human beings like ourselves and our own families. Many of us, not all of us, but many of us who have migration asylum-seeking stories, refugee stories. We, like Joseph, can dream into policy. But it matters where we begin. It matters where you begin. When Jacob sends Joseph at the very beginning of the Parsha to look for his brothers, he's lost looking for them. And he sees a man and he asks him, Et achi anochi mivakesh. I'm looking for my brothers. I am seeking my brothers. And he's answered by this man. They've gone from here. And our Torah commentator says, Rashi's not just talking about a place. Rashi is talking that he says that this man is telling Joseph, not just that they've left this place, but they've departed from all feelings of brotherhood. They have gone from here. They have gone from here. They didn't just leave this area. They left you. We've left our humanity in many places, and for sure on our borders. And we need the will and the commitment and the dreams to build a humane, welcome system for our brothers, for our sisters, for our siblings. May we do so soon, 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 soon. Amen.